Hello, and guess who's back? Dr. William Lee is back on our channel, and we're talking today about the scientific way of losing fat. There's no magic food or no magic drink that that can make your fat disappear all of a sudden. You have to be in a caloric deficit to lose weight, which typically includes lowering your portion size or changing what you eat, because what you were eating before didn't work. So, for example, fruits and vegetables have very low calories, most of them at least they do, compared to their volume. So if you eat a lot of high calorie dense foods like pasta or pizza or nuts or sweets or soft drinks or salmon, and you instead eat a lot more vegetables, you will feel more full, but have ingested less calories. So that's one way of losing weight. Fruit and vegetables also have a lot of other health benefits. The National Cancer Association recommends to eat 5 to 9 servings of fruit and vegetables a day. That's more than 750 grams of fruit and vegetables every day. And most Americans don't eat that. So, fruit and veggies can help with losing weight. But Dr. Lee is not talking about that. Dr. Lee is talking about a lot of other things. But 99% of weight loss is being done by being in a calorie deficit. And like always with Dr. Lee's methods, I kind of agree with him on the first 10% of the video. So he actually says a couple of things that are true. I'm not going through the entire video because it's an hour long. But he's talking about weight loss and overeating, and I agree with him 100% on this type of chapter. So let's listen to what he says on this part here, when you overeat.
We live in a society of where we're surrounded by abundance, and we tend to overeat. That's one of probably the biggest problems, health problems, is just frankly just putting too much fuel in our body, filling our tanks because it's there, because we're not actually controlling the amount we're actually eating.
Yeah, I agree with this. I agree 100% with this. I think that's a big problem, and we're living in a society, of most of ours at least, where food is very abundant, which evolutionary was never the case. So overeating is a big problem, and 99% of weight loss is being done by being a calorie deficit. And if you have watched his video until then, we are 13 minutes into the video, you got a lot of really good information. He educated you a little bit on visceral fat and brown fat. Those are two things that actually really exist. And he also talked about overeating and calorie deficit and eating less food in order to lose weight. So, but then it gets like pretty sketchy. Like in every of his videos, this is like unfortunately what happens. I don't know what's going on, man. So now he's talking about the science way of losing visceral fat effectively or losing weight effectively. And he talks about 3 different things, which I'm going to summarize in 2. He talks about coffee and tea and caffeine, which is like the active ingredients in those 2. And then he's talking about water, out of all things. And, don't get me started on this. So let's talk about coffee and tea first. And let's see what he says about tea and coffee. So
this very enjoyable common beverage that's penetrated in most cultures has been studied in clinical trial and been shown that drinking tea, clinical studies of tea drinkers actually show that drinking tea burns down harmful extra visceral fat. Fantastic, right? Really good. So let me tell you like an example of one of the studies. There was a study done by...
So this is not true. So there are some studies that suggest that caffeine can help with weight loss maintenance, but you have to take a lot of caffeine. We're talking about 1,000 milligrams of caffeine a day, which is quite a lot of caffeine. But most studies really don't show any effect of caffeine or green coffee or green tea on weight loss. So you can use that to aid your weight loss. If you're already in a hypocaloric deficit, if you're on a hypocaloric diet, you want to lose weight and you're already in a calorie deficit, there are studies out that show an impact of caffeine or caffeinated drinks like green tea or coffee or on weight loss maintenance, but it is very inconclusive. It is definitely, you can't definitely not go on the internet and say, well, drink green tea and you're going to burn fat. which is what he does, you know. And that's just misleading. That's, at the best, it is misleading, you know. I do want to talk about the next claim, which is even better, to be honest. Brew tea, drinking water. There you go. Look at that.
Guess what? Drinking water also helps you fight visceral fat. That's pretty good, because we're all supposed to drink water, right? To stay hydrated. Staying hydrated is absolutely critical for overall health. Look, I don't have to tell you, if you got stuck.
I don't know what to do with this guy. No, absolutely not. Water, really? I mean, think about it. So there are some studies that suggest that pre-meal water consumption reduces meal energy intake with obese and overweight adults above 55 while they are already on a hypocaloric diet. Okay, so which means, in plain English, if you drink a lot of water before you eat and you're already on a diet that supports a calorie deficit, then you will eat less because you feel a lot more full and you feel a lot more satiated. You're not gonna drink that sugary drink at the end of the day, or the juice at the end of the day that has 200 calories. So, but neither coffee, nor green tea, nor water will help you to burn fat if you're eating that burger and that fries and that soft drink, which is like 1,000 calories easy. Don't listen to this. Yeah, so hydration, he's right, is important and is an important part of a diet. And science agrees that if you're obese or if you're overweight and you're already on a hypocaloric diet, then yes, drinking water 30 minutes before your meal, 1 to 2 cups of water, will lead to less calorie intake because you feel more saturated. Everything beyond that, like the evidence that there's an underlying physiological mechanism that will burn fat because you drink water, coffee, or tea, is not proven. It's not proven. You know, there are indications that it might happen, but there are also indications that it might not happen. Okay, so but there's the mechanisms are not known. It's not known that if you drink water, it burns fat. That would be nice. I would just drink all the time water and I would burn fat. So, guys, do me one favor. Use Google Scholar and read. Dr. Lee's advice is not founded in science. Unfortunately, the first 10 minutes are, maybe the first 15 when he talks about the fats. Everything beyond that is just cherry picking single studies out of a massive body of knowledge, which is very, very inconclusive. Caloric deficit is what you need to be in. And you need to be in more calories than you take in. And the best way is to do this over a long time. So not do a crash diet, but burn it like long time. It took me 2 years to lose 30 pounds of fat, and that is what it takes. But I keep it off. I don't put it on again. And could I have done it faster? Of course I could. Would it have been more sustainable? Probably not. All right, not for me at least. You know, for other people with better genetics, they might be better at it. But for me, that was the right pace. What you should do is change small things in your diet that you can sustain also for a long term. So not just like for the amount of the diet, but you know that you're going to eat this also forever. The second big thing is surgery. You know, gastric band surgery helps a lot of people to lose weight. But even then, your eating habits will have to change and your behaviors like exercise will have to change to sustain the weight loss that you got with surgery too. So there you have it. There's no magic ingredients that will help you to lose weight. You're going to have to be in a caloric deficit. And then you might eat with, enough water before a meal or with like caffeine if you still can sleep at the end of the day. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. We're trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers. See you next time.